In this video, I'm going to recap everything that you've learned so far and give you some final comments. So it's important to have at least 20 feedback on eBay, and you want to get that as soon as possible. And remember that there's a distinction between buyer feedback and seller feedback. And you want to get at least 10 of each. And buyer feedback is when you're purchasing items on eBay, and seller feedback is when you're selling items on eBay. So a great way to get started is to sell items that you have around your home. And this will also make you familiar with the eBay platform. Next, you don't want to list through eBay's site directly. And that's because it's much more efficient and also creates much more attractive listings if you use third-party software. On a Mac, I recommend that you use Garage Sale, and on Windows, I recommend TurboLister. And whenever you're listing on eBay, it's important that you're always testing. That's because the titles you think are most effective or the product images may actually not be the most effective. You want to test because the numbers won't lie. The numbers that you get from testing will tell you exactly what title brings in the most people and leads to the most sales. Now, when it comes to finding dropshippers, there's a few ways that you can go about this. You can simply do a Google search. You can browse wholesaleforum.com. And if you really are interested in dropshipping, you can consider paying for worldwide brands. It's a one-time membership fee that's a couple $100, but once you buy it, you have access to life. And it's very important that you avoid middlemen like doba.com or SaleWho. Then when it came to finding wholesalers, remember that Alibaba.com is by far the best place to find wholesalers to import products from. And when you're going on Alibaba, don't be afraid to send lots of messages. You can contact a lot of wholesalers because when you contact them requesting more information, you're not making any kind of commitment. And always order a sample product first. And this is so important because although you might have to spend extra money up front, it is much better than placing a large order and getting ripped off. And this has happened to me before, and trust me, it's not fun. So always order a sample product first to see the types of product and the quality you're getting before placing a larger order. Then when it came to customer satisfaction, remember that the customer is king. And whenever you're in doubt, always err in favor of your customer. No matter how unreasonable they may seem, you want to make sure they're happy and that you'll do whatever it takes and just assume that they're right. There is no point arguing. And then remember, shipping from home is both cheaper and convenient. And although it might not save us that much money in the beginning, over time, if we ship from home and ship cost effectively, you're going to save a lot of money. And then we talked about profit margin and the true cost. And it's important to ask yourself, what are we really making? So remember, if we sell a product for $15 and it costs us $5 to buy, we may think that we're making $10 in profit, but as you saw earlier, there are a lot of other costs that we have to factor in. So we want to make sure that once we factor in all those costs, that we're still making a big enough profit that it's worth selling this item. And then my final comments are start with a few simple products to get experience. Don't worry, if you have big goals, you don't have to start really big. And in fact, if you order too much product in the beginning without that much experience, it's very risky. So start by ordering small batches of products so you can get familiar with this whole process. And then over time, once you become more comfortable and you're making more sales, then you can place larger orders with your manufacturer. And you will make mistakes. That's part of the process, and don't worry about making mistakes. Mistakes are the best way to learn how to do anything. And not only will you not be perfect, but you're going to make a ton of mistakes. You can expect that. But you're going to learn so much in the process, and this learning you have will stay with you for life. And lastly, don't be afraid to drop or add new products. So let's say you're selling one product and you've been successful for a while. Try adding another one. Experiment with a new product. And if it's not as successful as the first one, don't worry about it. Just see, is this making enough sales that I should keep importing this second type of product? Or should I get rid of it and just focus on that one main product that I sell? And then my last slide for you is always treat your customers well. No matter what, your customer is king and it's your job to make them happy. And avoid expensive items, because especially when you're first starting out. The reason being is expensive items just give you a lot of unnecessary risk. If you're placing an order for $1,000 worth of product, then if you're not able to sell those products, or if the market changes for any reason, you have $1,000 worth of products that you can't sell. So why take on that unnecessary risk if you don't have to? And lastly, don't pretend to be bigger than you are. I see a lot of people in their listings saying, we're a huge company, or we're going to make you satisfied. But just be upfront and honest with your customers. Say, I'm going to do the best I can to make you happy. Don't make it sound like there's this huge company behind you and you're already really established. People like that personal touch of just buying from a single person. You don't have to pretend to be someone that you're not. So that's it. I wish you the best of luck.